Number two is moolah magic. It's about money. It certainly is. Now look, you're not greedy, but if your income doubled, your life would likely change for the better, right? And you can positively impact other lives when you're making more money, not just your own. You have a business and sometimes it's successful, but other times not so much. You're probably an expert, you're selling, you've got coaching programs, maybe you're a consultant, maybe you're another type of expert, you're running a marketing agency, something like that. Basically, you're selling your expertise. They're the people that normally get involved with me. But here's one thing I learnt very early in the piece, and I've been in sales and marketing since I was 19. No pipeline, no hope. Pipeline, what's that? That's your ever-growing list of potential clients. They're in the pipeline. They're learning about you. They're building a relationship with you. They're potential clients for you. They're kind of ideal. They're your ideal client prospect, but they're not yet ready to buy. So there's a nurturing process and a learning process for them. They need to learn more about you, how you solve problems, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't have a pipeline, you're in big trouble. A lot of people, a lot of experts in that, they just rely on passive referrals. I'll get from time to time, they'll get a referral from somebody who says, go and help this guy. And then you help them and then they pay you some money. All right, that's nice. But it's not regular in most instances. It's not reliable, it's not solid. So we've got to move beyond that, especially in tough times like these where maybe there are fewer referrals floating around, few of those voluntary, easy referrals floating around because people are nervous, low trust and all the rest of it. So without a pipeline, you're far more likely to suffer from these problems. Unreliable cash flow, more stress, more scrambling to plug a revenue hole when you lose a client or the project finishes. Sometimes that leads to problems with paying the bills, which might lead to problems on the home front, a few tensions at home, maybe some arguments, whatever. And also it can affect your credit rating if you're not paying the bills. Now, I believe in many respects the standard playbook is broken. You've probably tried some version of the typical advice posts, which is such as post more on LinkedIn, share your expertise, add value, maybe run some ads, and it might have worked a little for a while, but here's what's changed. Expertise has been commoditized. AI can generate surface level insights in seconds. Your competitors are posting the same tips, frameworks, and 5 things I learnt type of content. Nobody's an expert as far as your potential clients are concerned. They can't tell the difference. Everyone's an expert now with AI. You can get instant expertise and you can go and sell it, and that's what's happening in some instances. Nobody stands out. So you post more, you go to more networking events, blah, blah, blah. You add more value and the results remain flat. So look, visibility, I'm not saying that it's not good to be visible. You need to be visible. That's why people have a social media presence, etc. But the real issue is trust. B2B buyers are more skeptical than ever. They've been burned by experts who overpromise. They don't buy based on who posts the most or who has the fanciest website. They buy based on who they trust. And trust comes from 3 things in the main. Proof. Evidence, you've done it before. Have you got that? You got that evidence? Sure? Great. People show me evidence all the time. But you know something that they don't do? They often haven't turned that evidence into a real story with real outcomes. A thrilling story. Success over adversity. People love stories. It's the missing link for a lot of people. You've got evidence, but you don't have the stories. Stories that are on your websites. And I'm not talking about little testimonials. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stories. The good, the bad, and the ugly, the struggles they had, and so on, until they found you. Warm introductions, a recommendation from someone they already respect. That builds trust. Not a cold DM, direct message on LinkedIn or Facebook or something. Not a connection request with a pitch attached. A referral from a trusted source. It's common sense, isn't it? And then finally, authority. A presence that signals depth. You can do it through content, but you can also do it the way you communicate with people face to face, on the phone, on Zoom calls or whatever. Content that shows you understand their world better than anyone else. So content's important, an important way to do that because it's kind of passive and it'll just sit there in cyberspace for 24 hours a day, right? Who knows when they're going to be reading it, but you don't mind. You don't mind. Then when you're talking with people, the content infuses your thinking and the way you talk to people starts to change for the better. But in the online realm, a digital footprint that says this person is the real deal. So digital is very important. But so are conversations with people, real conversations. Most experts rely on one of these and ignore the other two. They write case studies, but nobody sees them. Or they get an occasional referral, that's very common, but it's random, it's unpredictable, and is subject to the whims and the vagaries of the people that you know. You just never know. It's very nerve-wracking. You never know when it's going to happen. They post on LinkedIn, but it's a monologue, no engagement, no leads. The reason none of these things work in isolation is that they should be working together. Your case studies give referral partners something concrete to share. Your referral partners extend your reach beyond your own network, your own first level connections. Your LinkedIn authority makes every introduction convert at a higher rate. That's my plan. That's my formula. And one channel isn't enough. So when all three of the magic three are linked together and integrated, you don't chase clients. They come to you pre-sold and ready to talk. That's the system. Sometimes you've got to give them a bit of a nudge. I admit that. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. But in the main, they're leaning forward, metaphorically speaking.